said, Merry Christmas, baby. You sure did treat me nice. Bought me a diamond ring for Christmas, and I feel like I'm in paradise. All right. Well, I'm feeling mighty fine, y'all. Got my music on the radio.
Hello and welcome to the Surround Sport podcast. This is a very special episode. After 50 episodes, yes, 50 episodes, I'm delighted to bring back 3 of the most watched episodes on the YouTube podcast channel. It's been great to hear everyone's careers and everyone's successes over the last 50 episodes. But this list is of the 3 most watched, and their careers have gone on substantially since their podcast aired. Without further ado, let's get right into it. In 3rd place is Matt Graves. So, first of all, how have you been?
Yeah, I've been good, thanks. It's been pretty indifferent few months since we last spoke. Seems like a lot has happened, and kind of landing back in Southampton as well. But yeah, all's been good, thanks.
So you need no introduction, presumably. At time of recording, you had 100 views on your episode on YouTube. You're the 3rd most watched, so that must be a good feeling.
Yeah, I think it's nice to be able to feel like I'm getting myself out there a little bit more. I think it's still kind of surreal, kind of going from a 16-year-old that had kind of fallen out of love with football to kind of what the last few years has brought to me. It's still kind of surreal feeling, really.
And we're not going to do a whole recap of last time. So your released episode was released on the 4th of February this year.
Yeah.
So quite a long back.
Yeah.
Quite a long back. And then you told me that you were into cricket up to a certain age, then you did football.
Yeah.
Then you did actually play and then sort of stopped, and then you went on to college and university. Funny enough, you told me this after the recording, that you didn't actually know that I could see that you were a Labour, and it seemed quite surprised that I brought it up.
Yeah, I think I forget what's kind of out there at times, really.
Yeah, that's it. Then I'm trying to go through the research.
Yeah.
And then obviously you're Crawley Wasps, and then you went to Southampton, and then you went back to Crawley Wasps, and then you went back, and then you went on to Acorns, then you went to Haywards Heath, which was the new name for Crawley Wasps, and then you did quite a lot of shifting backwards and forwards, didn't you?
Yeah, I think obviously leaving Southampton at a time where I moved out of the city, and then I was going to go back to Wasps at that time, but I wanted a kind of different challenge, really. So that's when I kind of went to Acorns, and then Wasps offered me a role there, and it was an opportunity that I really couldn't turn down. Then obviously we got the sad news that the club was folding as we knew it, going into administration, and then got bought out by Haywards Heath Town. So hence that kind of change, which was obviously a really sad time for people that have been involved in the club for so long.
And one of the things that I wanted to add to this was I didn't notice this until after the episode, and then by that time it was fairly new to you. I didn't know whether to mention or not, but the month before your podcast, you got diagnosed with autism.
Yeah. So it was a little bit before. It was the summer before getting the autism diagnosis. It was really, a really strange and really peculiar time. Lots of, now I've had the diagnosis, lots of traits that I do, it makes sense now. But at the time, it was just kind of growing up. It was just kind of me.
Yeah.
So, and I think to finally get that kind of that diagnosis, aged 21, it was hard at first to kind of accept. I'd gone through the majority of my life, the majority of my education, without actually knowing about the diagnosis. And then I was kind of shut off about it at first. And then I spoke to two fantastic people at a football club, Elle and Emma Reed, and it just really opened up to what I am. And it really just made me help settle. And then there was a piece about me and Elle at Autism Hampshire, which is obviously a charity that works in and around here. They put a piece online about the two of us when I was at the football club in my first spell. And I think that really made me kind of get my feet on the ground a bit and become a lot more open about it than I previously was.
Yeah, and looking back on your childhood, you probably thought it makes sense why I was like this and then everything.
Yeah, hugely. Like lots of things I do. I mean, I think we spoke last time about my kind of morning routine where I would get up at the same time. I would go to the gym. I'd go to the library, things like that. And those kind of routines and kind of like little, like what I thought were like quirky things, have that kind of like label on it now without having a sense of it's all I am. I'm more to me than just my autism diagnosis, and most importantly, I'm Matt first before I'm anything else.
I was literally about to say that you're Matt and then everything else is secondary.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then you went back to Corey Bobs, and then you were involved with the youth and the first team set up. So that must be quite nice being able to transition people from youth into the first team. It sort of merged it together.
Yeah, especially with coming to the latter end of the season. When we found out the club was going into liquidation, people had stopped being paid. A lot of players decided to move on. Even during that period, I can't blame them for that at all. A lot of it is their second income, it's their rent, it's their bills, it's whatever they were using it for. So to be able to then see some of the under 18s come up into the first team for the last few games of the season, one of which being at Fratton Park. By that time, I'd been promoted from first team coach to assistant manager. So to then have that kind of huge overall side of it and have a bigger role in the club was really good for me, and it was really good to see the younger girls come up into the first team environment.
And then you 4 months. Now I did a bit of research for this. I went through I'm not stalking you again, but so 4 months ago you posted this into your. So it was just read a little bit of it. So that after a lot of thinking and talking to people close to me in the game, I've made the difficult decision to leave the club after nearly 10 years of service. Started as a 13-year-old making tea and coffee to coming onto the coaching team at 18 to try and find my love for the game again. Leaving in 2020 during the pandemic felt bittersweet, but knowing that a return was on the cards. Of course, that happened. You said in October last year you joined the club up in both senior and youth, which you just mentioned. And later on in the season becoming appointed first team assistant manager. As the club name, which I previously mentioned, Hayworth Heath, and bad changes, I felt that this is the right time for me to say that final goodbye. Thank you to Paul Walker, Dave Carl, which you mentioned the last time on the podcast, and all the former first team coaches and players we had. Sometimes I never forget. Oh, we had some times I never forget. The last year has shown me that truly anything is possible.
Yes.
So, knowing that a return was on the cards, of course, we all kind of knew that.
Yeah.
You must have felt a bit disappointed to leave.
Yeah, I was, and I think, unfortunately, the way that things were handled between the manager, it kind of left me with no other option, unfortunately, other than to leave. I got appointed goalkeeper coach. I've never done goalkeeper coaching ever before. I'd fallen out of enjoyment with it. And it was to the point where at one game, I came up with this idea and he completely shut me down quite aggressively. And I really thought, I was like, what comes next? And he was like, you're 23, I'm the manager. And after leaving that kind of situation, those words really stuck with me, because a lot of coaches I know who are my age still play.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, is it too early? Like, is it too early for me to be a coach? I am 23. I should still be playing. Everyone I know who's a coach at my age is still playing. And that was a really difficult and challenging time. I was obviously dealing with life after cricket and then life after Wasps, and then that happened with the manager at Haywards Heath. And then thankfully, Lauren Cheshire, who is such a good friend of mine at Southampton, I was talking to her, and she invited me to come down to one of their pre-season games. They were playing a team in Brighton, which is just down the road from my hometown. So I went down there and I met the new first team manager, Jamie Lloyd-Davis, properly, because that game where the manager at Haywards Heath had a go at me was against Southampton.
Oh.
So, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So bad people to do it in front of. But I met him properly. We had really good, positive conversations. I had ideas I was putting across to him, and we were bouncing off each other. I was bouncing off Chesh, and it really made me realise where I had to be. My thoughts were to come back to Southampton anyway to live, but to now have that kind of footballing environment back, and kind of scrolling back on old messages from Chesh at the time, I told her, I was thinking of moving back before any of this happened, kind of like the April, May time. And the first thing she said was, "You're welcome back to the club." That's the first thing she said. And that kind of made me realise my value and where I should be. And yeah, it was only kind of scrolling back that I was like, actually, like, I am good at what I do. Like, I am able to help people within the game. My age does not matter. And to now kind of be back in that environment and back with the club is just fantastic.
Yeah. And it felt like as everything never left, really. It's like you found your place and you found the right environment. And of course, you just graduated from uni at this point as well, a year later.
Yeah, exactly. I really feel like I found my feet at the club. It took a bit of time. There's been a lot of change in the last year at the club since I was last there. But yeah, I feel like I've found my feet and I've really hit the ground running. And what I really like about Jamie is obviously he's so caring, he's so loving, his heart's such in the right place. And we played against Bitton in Bristol in the third qualifying round of the FA Cup. And I said something to some of the girls at half time, and he actually mentioned that in his interview after and gave me credit for it. And I've never ever had anyone do that before as a manager. And that just made me feel like, yeah, it's like I'm home. Like this is me now.
And you graduated from uni as well.
Yeah, that was really, really cool thing in the summer. Yeah, kind of, 5 years at Solent. It was some very difficult times, some very amazing times, but the graduation, and then the kind of, actually we were in the bar afterwards, in the evening, and then I was actually joined by the girls from Southampton. Like, they were on a night out and we bumped into each other, and yeah, we had the best night kind of there with my mates and then the Southampton girls. It was yeah, it was good, and it was nice to be able to kind of celebrate what's been 5 years of real hard work.
Yeah, during the pandemic, and then your diagnosis, and then all the clubs you've been to, and everything else, you've done really, really well.
Thank you.
And we should just mention that it's actually Southampton Sirens, not the actual Southampton ones. This is a different.
Yeah, different. Yeah.
And you're the first team coach there. So what sort of happened between July and September? There's a bit of a blank there in between graduation and then September when the season started. Was that you coming back to Southampton then?
Yeah, that was me not doing anything really. It was me working, and yeah, just not doing a lot because I knew the return to Southampton was on the cards. You know, September was always the time where I was looking to come back, be it early September, late September. A lot of that time was obviously the first few weeks was struggling, having left Haywards Heath in the manner that it happened, unfortunately, was, you know, the big kind of, you know, back burner for me. Like I said, with that, and then with the whole kind of, it was mid-cricket season, and I wasn't playing for the first time in 14 years. So that was a real hard test of character as well. So it was just kind of taking a step back and having a different kind of perspective of everything.
And so obviously Southampton's your home. I mean, the background behind you makes me feel like you're back at accommodation, but you're not.
Yeah.
So yeah, Southampton's your home. Southampton's where you are. You're at the club. First team coach. So you're not manager now. You're just part of the coaching setup.
Yeah. So
Well,
yeah, it's a lot of weight off my shoulders as well.
Yeah, a lot of weight off shoulders. So what's next? Coaching is your thing? Is it want to be like manager again, or?
Yeah, I'm happy sticking with coaching.
Yeah.
Like you know, I know we've had that age conversation. I'm still young to be in the game. So, and coaching gives me more freedom for stuff outside of life. I'm training for an Ironman. I'm training for an ultra marathon as well. So, and obviously I work full time, so I've got a lot of stuff going on outside of football. So to then kind of come to football, have that kind of release where I'm with my mates, and I'm able to help people. That's the kind of the joy that I look for now.
And you've done. I mean, considering looking back at your first one, I was looking at it last night, sort of refreshing my mind after I don't know, 10 months ago.
Yeah.
I just kept thinking, my goodness, isn't really that long? But we filmed like January, didn't we?
Yeah.
Came out in February. So, but I do remember you saying that you quite enjoyed the first one.
Yeah, I did. I think I've done interviews after games and those kind of things, but it's the first time that I've kind of sat down and spoke about my life as a whole, and to talk about my career path. For me, it made me realise what I've achieved and how far I've come in what seems like a relatively small period of time. So to go from like a 16-year-old picking up cones to then assistant manager in tier 3, yeah, it was a very kind of surreal element to the last podcast, and is to go, I was in tier 5, I've been in tier 3, you know, I was head of academy, first team coach, and I was like, wow, it kind of shocked me because that's the first time where I've gone and actually looked back at everything. Yeah. So yeah, and it was a huge help to me as well.
Yeah, and as you said, you've got a face for radio as well. So
yeah, exactly.
And yeah, I mean, time goes so quickly. You just jump places to places and you don't necessarily think. But I've had a few people when they've had a lot of jobs. They say to me after the filming, they always say to me, I can't believe I've done that much in so like 3 or 4 years or 5 years. And I'm going, yeah, it's surprising when someone else figures it out for you, and then they're like, goodness me.
I think with the kind of the football roles I've had, I've always gone somewhere for a reason. Like I started at I started at Wasps because it was my local club. My parents were there, my sister was there, so to be able to start there, it was the natural thing to do. Then obviously living in Southampton Women's was the place to be. It was the ideal opportunity to learn off of their manager Aaron Smith and the assistant manager Lee Horrell, and they gave me my first opportunity the next season within coaching and management. So to then come back to Crawley, having moved out of Southampton, to come back to Crawley and then be at the two clubs I was there, I didn't feel I was progressing, unfortunately, at the other club. So that's when I went back to Wasps. And coming back now to Southampton, everywhere I've gone has been with a purpose, be that to learn, be that because I've moved house. It's always had some purpose, some reason, some rationale behind it. And now I'm back here, I'm able to reclaim my life a little bit more. I've got kind of like a social life back. I've got a training life back for the Ironmans. Yeah, it's just it was just the ideal place for me to be.
And when it's the Ironmans and all that?
The ultra marathon is going to be at the end of May. I will be doing it for a fundraiser. I can't really open up about the details too much at the moment because we're trying to get that over the line with a few things.
Of course.
And then in end of July will be the Ironman. And it's been, to know that it's like so close, having been, I know July seems like a long time away, but in the world of endurance and ultra endurance sports, it's not long at all.
Yeah.
And I started the triathlon journey in 2020, then to go through and have kind of like 2 years without too much racing due to cricket. And then kind of when I fell out of love with cricket due to, a few, a coach and a captain and some circumstances out of my control, that was a real challenging and difficult time. That winter was really, really hard. So I felt bad for my younger self that loved the sport, 14, 15 years ago. And I thought, I've got to now do something. And the ideas of Ironmans has intrigued me for years, even before the triathlons, and the world of endurance sport had intrigued me for years as well. So I sat down with some people and we put together some plans, and I was like, I want to do an Ironman. I want to become an Ironman. And we decided to target the race, which obviously is coming up in July, and we've gone through the stages and the processes over the last kind of year to get there. And to know that it's just over half a year away, it's really cool, and it really shows the distance that my fitness has come. Both physical fitness, my mental health. It really shows how far that's come from life after cricket and really, really struggling to now, where it's like I'm 7 months away from becoming an Ironman, and it's some stupid statistic like less than 0.1% of people. I think it's smaller than that. I think it's 0.01% of people in their lifetime will do an Ironman. So to join that elite club, and then I think once I've got that, I can be Matt Graves the Ironman. And instead of Matt Graves, I used to play cricket. Matt, that kind of aspect to it. I'm always going to be an Ironman after that, and I can kind of reclaim my life a little bit more, because I've always seen myself as an athlete first and then a person. And through cricket and the levels that I used to play, that's just the kind of way it had to be. And then I lost that athlete and I was just Matt. And I know that sounds really bad potentially, but to just be Matt when I've always been, Matt the cricketer, I did judo, I was Matt the judo fighter, but then I was just Matt. So to then start this crazy, crazy journey to get to the finish line of an Ironman, and then I can start to restructure my way of thinking again. I can then be a person first and an athlete second, and I can actually, reclaim a life again, really.
Yeah. Are you sure you've not been watching too many Marvel films?
Oh, about that one.
Yeah, I was going to say rather you than me.
I've had lots of people say that I'm crazy. Lots of people say it's a mental idea, but that's the joys of ultra endurance and endurance sport.
And then you can just prove them wrong when they get it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, a good friend of mine, Lauren Arbour, she's crazy. She's absolutely mental. I love her to pieces, and she's like the queen of crazy ideas. So when I came up with this idea of doing an ultra marathon, you know, it's 100 kilometers. It's London to Brighton. And I said, "Will you join me at the start line?" And like, she's keen for it. And that's the kind of friendships and relationships I've built within the sport now. But yeah, we're both absolutely crazy, and I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope she is as well.
Did she mention it in the first place, or was it you?
It was my idea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was my idea. So I texted her, and I was like, I've got a crazy idea. Do you want in? And yeah, 100 kilometer ultra marathon from London to Brighton.
Oh man. Just try doing send to wherever it is. Yeah. So you've got all that coming up, and obviously you've got your football career as well as the first team coach. And yeah, you've done incredibly well since the last time we spoke, proper and blank. And of course the radio, obviously that's where you belong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
No, that's it. Just thank you again for having me. Thank you to anyone that's been listening as well. Yeah, thank you for allowing me to open up again and kind of get away from this hard exterior that I kind of produce, to actually be able to sit and open up. I think it's been really good and beneficial for me, and it's been great to talk to you as well.
Yeah, if you want me to be a counsellor, just ask. Yeah, so that was Matt. Now, this is where I would go on to the second most watched YouTube episode. However, the person that was second most watched was unable to come on. He had university and swimming commitments, and he was very, very busy, so he was unable to come on the podcast for this special. However, he had sent me some stuff that I'm going to say on his behalf. Anyway, so the second most watched with at another recording, 110 views, is Kevin Fry. His episodes went out on the 18th of March this year, and since then his career has gone from strength to strength. So let's get right into it. So after the podcast aired, he went on to do the British Summer Nationals, where he came fourth in the 100 metre freestyle. So that's an amazing achievement, fourth, out of a whole load of competitors. So that's absolutely incredible. And then he went on to win the 50 and the 100 freestyle at Bucks. Bucks is a competition where a load of universities come together to compete against other universities in a range of sports. And he got 3 golds.
Alex Cahoon for Loughborough. This could be anywhere across 5 lanes here. Who gets it? Calvin Fry, 21.74. 0.3 of a second outside the Bucks record.
And won 3rd place, which was the bronze. So 3 golds and 1 bronze at Bucks. So that's an amazing achievement. Well done, Calvin, for that. And then with the Bucks, they got ranked 14th in the world on the Swims Round rankings for the 150 freestyle short course. So that's an amazing achievement, Calvin, and that's just absolutely incredible. You should be very pleased with that result. And then he had Winter Nationals. At time of recording, it hasn't shown up with the results, so unfortunately I can't give an update on that. But he was hoping to make a couple of races in that. But let's move swiftly on to big news. He got selected for Swim England's senior team, And the next big meet is the Olympic trials in April next year. So that's an amazing achievement, and it shows how far he's come since his podcast episode aired. So that's just absolutely outstanding. And his long-term aim is, of course, trying to qualify for the Olympics. Obviously not Paris, but definitely LA in 2028 will be his aim. And his aim is also to get some international medals. Well, here's hoping. And life's been good since the podcast. His training's been great. He's moved up from the squad to the high performance group at Loughborough University, which he still is at. He's training with the Olympians and athletes like Louis, you might recognise a few of those names. Louis Barris and swimming, Louise Hanson and Lauren Cox, who got medals for GB. So he's training with Olympians and moving up through the high performance group at Loughborough University, and of course the Olympic trials next April. It's all incredible news, and it's great to see that since his podcast airs, that his career's gone strength to strength, and it's just absolutely incredible to see. And it's just absolutely incredible. So well done, Calvin, and hope that your career goes strength to strength, and we'll see you at the next Olympics in 28. Now, it's time to move on to the first most watched. But before that, here's a short clip of some of my favourite podcast moments from the last 50 episodes since the end of January this year until early December when my 50th episode aired. Take a look at this. So, well, first of all, thank you for coming along in your lovely car. Okay. Hello.
No, it's a pleasure. I've heard a lot about these podcasts and pleased to be part of this one.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
So you should be. So here's the famous Kelly. So I don't know how much talking you want to think.
Yeah.
I become good at it, so I just stick to that. Yeah.
We're both really happy. Our families are happy, so that's all that kind of matters.
So no ring yet?
No ring. You're not the only person to pressurise him, and I'm sure when he sees this, he'll be delighted that it's been brought up again.
My husband and I saw the first boccia competition, and I thought it was a total waste of time.
Oh, Kelly's brilliant. It's just Kelly. There are other people in that team, but no, Kelly seems to be the main one that everyone just sort of goes to.
Yeah, I mean, literally kept me sane for 5 years.
Well, you're still a celebrity, I would say, with the blue tick that you still managed to keep on Twitter. We've had this conversation before about, you know, when Elon Musk's going to take it away from you and you've got to buy it or whatever. So you're still a celebrity in some respect.
Still got the tick, but I'm not paying the £8 a month or whatever it is.
I think the worst thing is, whether it's breakfast, lunch or dinner, we talk boccia. What? Why? Can we not have a meal where we don't talk boccia?
Want a bit of money for that one?
Yeah.
£30.
Yeah.
Big money for swimming that though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm managing director, which is a posh way of saying does pretty much everything, including, you know, clean the bathroom, make sure there's tea and coffee available. Yeah, all of that.
All the admin stuff nobody wants to do.
Yeah, pretty much everything gets left to me.
It's a bit freaky listening to you because you sound very much like your dad.
Really?
It's like Uncle Keith, so it's a bit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no, people keep saying that more and more.
yeah, we pop up screens and go, don't go near me.
Yeah, exactly. I'm special.
Yeah, very special.
Yeah, I think I've won multiple events.
It sounds like you have anyway. So, you're Palace supporter. I put down here why.
Why?
Of course. Feel good like that.
If you say so.
Yeah, I tried to pick it up here, so.
Oh, okay. I'll do that. I'll take.
What are you doing here?
Yeah.
But you left.
I think I'm like a bad smell, Peter. I think I just keep turning back up.
I was invited to the. Well, I don't know if invited is the word, but I went to the.
And then you ended up with 50 caps for England. So, to get that sort of milestone, half of 100 must be quite a good achievement.
Yeah, they built a Hall of Fame or Wall of Fame of all the England, all the people with over 50 caps and 100 caps and 150 caps, and I'm on that wall. So it's an unbelievable experience what I've done for England. But obviously the next stepping stone now is for me. I'm trying to find a purpose now when I've retired the second time around and try and improve disability representation across football.
Because you say you're accountable when you're individual, but in a team you can always just blame someone else.
Yeah, it's a different kind of nerves in your relay, because when I'm on the start line individually, I know that it's just me, and if I mess up, it's just on me. Whereas if you mess up in a relay, there's three other people who are going to be annoyed at you, so it's a different kind of pressure.
Why football? Predominantly football. Because you said you mentioned you did hockey and that. So what was it about football that made you want to do a career on it?
It's a great question, actually, and probably one I've never considered.
You came here as a student about 20 years ago, trying not to make you feel old here, Ken.
You've made me feel very old. You've made me feel very old in one sentence, yeah.
It's not just somebody not just a nuisance. You're
going to make me cry in a minute. That's what you wanted to do, isn't it? I'm not gonna do it. But
that carpet looks hideous. It was like a bright red carpet as well.
I mean, you weren't wrong.
Yeah, and then they got two other dogs, sausage dogs, Jack Bark and Black Baby. We'll borrow them at the time, and then another one. And they're like, stop it.
Yeah.
I don't talk. Lucky you.
Very lucky, mate.
So yeah, I think, yeah.
I've forgotten if that's quite the question you asked me.
Yeah, then Sandra came in. Sandra King, she did it for a short time. I forgot the question again. This is awful. My memory's failing.
You're talking about staff, and I was talking about what athletes you had.
Yeah, so sorry. Yeah, it would be.
I think if you asked the people in Boccia or...
I was saying that I remember playing against you a couple of times as well when you were a player way back when. Always happy on the Cowsey.
Yeah.
No two ways about it.
It went well.
As you do.
Yes, yeah.
You want medals. But yeah.
Just won the Super League a couple of weeks ago with SAS. How dare you, actually. Now 6 times Super League champions.
Oh, you cheeky thing.
Oh wow! Well, obviously I'm now quite old, so me being younger covers quite a lot of ground.
What did the England squad say to you? Were you expecting? Oh, you are very, very lucky getting a few days off.
Yeah.
I'm a few days off myself, actually. You imagine you're reporting on it, and you just get so involved in the match that you forget that you're actually there to do a job.
Do you know? I don't.
First time on Zoom as well, actually, for a podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you usually use?
Well, I've been doing it on Teams. Yeah. And would you go to Saudi Arabia? That's where all the money is.
Yeah, if they're offering me a house and everything, yeah, why not? I think you'd be stupid not to, wouldn't you?
When you didn't go to that photo shoot with Gordon Ramsay, didn't Gordon just pick up the phone and go, get down out of your fucking fat photo me?
No. Do you know what? I've worked with Gordon Ramsay before. He was a lovely guy. He was genuinely a really lovely guy.
You managed to talk to Vincent, you managed to ask him questions, didn't you?
Yeah, that was good. Obviously, he's a legend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't believe you've seen that actually. So
And coaching, that's not the way for you.
No, not at all.
No.
No, I don't like coaching at all. Like, I haven't got the patience for it.
at first I was a bit like dejected and going all that kind of stuff. Oh, you're waving at the dog.
Hello.
Oh.
Go on now. Let's go walk.
Adorable. Don't worry, I'll edit that bit. Your future.
My future.
Yes.
Oh goodness. Oh.
So it was a 2-hour presentation to a doctoral committee on, yeah, you don't want to do that, Peter?
No, it's an interesting question. Yeah, probably something I've not thought about before.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what I'm here for. Good question. That's all I'm here for. Why didn't you carry it on after?
Good question. I did.
You actually watched Barnsley Scouts at Southampton and Brighton as well.
Yeah, very good research. So, yeah, I had some scouts watching me from Portsmouth, Brighton, and Southampton.
Maybe, I don't know. You it sounds like you've done your homework.
I've done the homework on you, not on anything else. Cool. So thank you very much for coming on, Miles. Dr. Miles.
Thank you so much for having me. No, you can call me Miles, Peter.
Perfect. Thank you.
So, that was my favourite moments from my last 50 podcast episodes. Now, I think we've left you waiting for quite a while to get to the first place. So, this person has got the most watched ever. Out of all 50 episodes, he came top with more than double of second place. So he got more than double 110 views. He even managed to make past the 300 view mark, which is just incredible. Noticing that this podcast and this podcast channel on Voice FM, not many people watch those episodes, but to get over 300 views for a podcast episode is just incredible. And it's thanks to him and his family and friends and professionals in the sport and people like yourselves who are watching it right now in the community of Southampton, watching the podcast after I've had a short preview on air on the radio every Saturday. So it was a massive achievement to get more than 300 views on a single podcast. And so, without further ado, I've left it waiting long enough. Here is the first most watched view ever on the podcast. So, obviously, you need no introduction for the amount of people that have seen your podcast a few months ago. So first of all, how have you been?
Yeah, I've been very good, thank you. Very busy with my training still. Done a few competitions since we last seen each other. And then, yeah, it's been at my uni work. So, yeah, very busy, but very good as well. Thank you.
So, your last podcast was way back in May. I think we filmed it in the month before that, and then it came out. Yeah. And you managed to come first. You were the most viewed YouTube podcast episode with 336 views.
Yeah, that's an honour.
Yeah. At time of recording, it's 336. Seems quite. You must be quite pleased with that many.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting that many views. Obviously, I shared it around to a few of my friends who watched it, some of my family members, and then I'm very surprised how many people watched that. So yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe it either, because normally most of them get to around double figures, like like 99 or whatever. But I never expected yours to take off.
Yeah, it's crazy. But hopefully this one can get more. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed. But back again, it'll be you, it'll be Matt, and it'll be Carmen. So hopefully together.
Yeah. Hopefully joined together. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So you're on the 20th of March 2023. First most watched, unbelievable. And there was quite a lot of publicity about it. I mean, your dad shared it on Twitter, as it was known at the time, and all that. So it was lovely. We're not going to go through the whole recap of last time, because that will just take too long. But we did discuss that in 2019, obviously you're born in this country, you could have chosen to play for England during the Paris Olympics, but you chose Switzerland, which was, of course, is it your mum's side?
Yeah, my mum's side of the family. Yeah.
And the reason why I chose that was to get more first team opportunities, because obviously with England you might have been a bit behind, but now you're at the forefront for Switzerland. Yeah. So and then obviously we talked about the pandemic. We talked about the university studies and all, and then we went to Tokyo in 21. Obviously delayed. So how was that first game for you? Looking back at it now, nearly coming up to Paris next year. So looking back at your first experience, how's it gone?
Yeah, I think it was a great first experience, especially on the lead up to Paris. I think it was vital for me at that young age to go to Tokyo and take all that experience away with me to help lead up to Paris, really. Obviously, Paris would be very different compared to Tokyo now that COVID isn't around anymore. So my family can actually come watch me, and obviously spectators in the arena, which is going to be amazing. So that's slightly more pressure, I'd say, but I think I like it because it helps motivate my training more, and all that stuff. So yeah, I think Tokyo was a really good experience for me to help push for Paris. And now we're only a few months away from Paris, so yeah, it's gone very quickly. Yeah, it really has.
Yeah. And coming from the back of that, we did discuss last time that you, back in May when your podcast went out, you mentioned that you were going to go off to Manchester for the World Power Swimming Championships in August. Obviously that was a few, but now looking back at it, obviously from Tokyo you were allowed to have some spectators in the crowd after that, and then of course when the sort of COVID restrictions were sort of like eased and now sort of like disappeared, but it's coming back, COVID back there, but we'll see. But to have more spectators and to be able to get used to that sort of pressure of having crowds there on the way to Paris, that must have helped you to get to Paris and feel, I've done this before with crowds, I should be okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously Manchester was a very good experience. Obviously last summer just happened. So yeah, a few more spectators were there. And yeah, I think it was very good to get used to the atmosphere. Obviously Paris is going to be many more spectators. I think it's around 20,000. And a lot of tickets have been sold already. So I think, yeah, Manchester was very good for me with the spectators, and I think it helped me to get used to what it would be like, and yeah, hopefully thrive on to Paris and to be less nervous with all the spectators there, which I'm sure I won't be anyway. But again, like you said, it's very good to get used to it from Manchester already. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised Manchester's got that many people to go and watch. So do you have any fans from Switzerland that came over, or does Switzerland kind of know you? Obviously you're here, so a lot of England people might recognise you, but what about in Switzerland? Does the country recognise you?
Yeah, they promote us well in the para side of the sport. Obviously there's a very good Olympian swimmers as well, but they promote us very well, which I'm very happy about in Switzerland. I know in Tokyo they do a channel show on the TV every night in Tokyo, where they would be talking about the sports that have been going on. So I think they'll probably do the same in Paris. So yeah, again, very, very good publicity for us in the Paris sport. So yeah, I think they also mentioned about me in Manchester. So yeah, I think Paris is going to be very, very, very big in Switzerland. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
I haven't had any fan mail from them yet.
Nah, nothing yet. Nothing yet. Yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but yeah, nothing yet in the mail yet. in the mail yet.
That's a shame, isn't it? And then obviously last time we mentioned that you're a Palace fan. And then of course at the time I was going, really? Because obviously Kevin, your old roommate, was a Brighton fan, so a few arguments presumably.
Yeah, nah, we got on very well. We love talking about our football and back at Mount Kelly. We still even talk about it now, even that we don't go to boarding school. We still talk about our football. So yeah, not I wouldn't say a lot of arguments, but a lot of football chat was happening. Yeah. Yeah.
And you mentioned last time that you also went to the actual wow, and of course you were able to get on the actual pitch itself as well as part of the. Was it part of the Switzerland Paralympic type talking to the crowd?
Yeah. I think it was after I came back from Manchester from World Championships. After I received my medal. So yeah, they invited me on the pitch at half time. And normally they do like a penalty special. So they asked me to take a penalty. Obviously I missed it. Of course I would do that. So yeah, it was very, very nice opportunity to be on the pitch at Crystal Palace. It was at half time during the game. I can't remember who we were playing. But yeah, very, very good experience that was to be interviewed on the pitch, which was my dream to ever be on at Crystal Palace. So yeah, it was amazing. That was.
And did Palace fans recognise you at all? Because I was thought, who was that on the pitch? Who's that?
Yeah. I think after the game, a few came up to me and stuff like that, which is cool. But yeah, nah, I'd say so. Yeah.
So what did you talk about? What did they sort of say?
They were just presenting talking about my swimming. And what had been happening at the World Championships and about Paris that's coming up next summer, just to let all the Palace fans know. And obviously I've been supporting Palace since I was born, really. So yeah, just to have someone supporting Palace and being a sports person. I know a few of them that are already fans. Like there's a lot of boxers and stuff like that. So yeah, just talking about that really, about my swimming career and all that. To all the fans, so it's really, really cool. Yeah.
Very good. Of course, you missed the. I'm assuming the mascot was in goal, was it?
Yeah. The mascot was in goal, which makes it even worse.
How did you miss it?
For me, the fact I missed the whole goal. I went left, went wide. It was unbelievable. I think the away fans were laughing at me as well, which made it even worse. It's shocking penalty from me. I like my football as well. I was always playing at secondary school for the team. So it's not like I'm even that bad, I'd say, but I think I fluffed the penalty there, I would say. Yeah, shocking.
Did you score goals when you were younger, or did you miss them again?
Yeah. No. I didn't. I wouldn't say I missed a lot of goals when I was younger. That's the thing. Like, the fact there was a penalty as well and such a big goal, it was terrible for me. But yeah, other than that, it was an amazing experience to be on the pitch. So nothing can take it away from that.
If only there was a video somewhere online.
Yeah, I think there is actually a video, but
I'll have to have a look.
I don't know whereabouts it is. Hopefully it doesn't get leaked.
And then obviously you mentioned you got a medal. Obviously you came second. You qualified for Paris, so you must have been quite pleased with that.
Yeah, very happy with that. Obviously finishing top 2 in the world at World Championships meant I was automatically qualified for Paris. So yeah, very happy with that. Beating my original time, a new personal best. So just working on it at the moment to try and push for gold in Paris, really. Training as much as I can and touch wood, hopefully I can do something well.
Yeah, so you qualified for the 100 metres breaststroke, SB5. We mentioned the email classifications last time. So you came second. Very well done for that. And then after that, you got recognised at the Bournemouth College Gate swim team. There was a video on Instagram that actually was just it was swimmer with the sort of like, what's the meaning of being a swimmer? I think we all know what the meaning of swimming is. And then is it pans across to you in your swimming cap?
Yeah. So obviously Alice Ty, who was another para swimmer at the time, which is in my club at the moment, her hat was up there as well. And then there was another girl who swims for the Isle of Wight. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not sure. So the three of the hats were actually there. So I think it was like the Hall of Fame or something, they named it. So it's actually hung up at my home club at the moment where I train for. So yeah, that's another honour for me to be up there with the greats of who swam at BCS. So yeah, it was really cool to see my hat up there. Yeah.
And is the swim team part of the Bournemouth? What is it? Is it college, university?
Yeah, so it's a collegiate school. So where I was at secondary school, I went there for school from year 7 to year 11. And obviously I was training there. And obviously I still train there now with my coach that I've been with for 5 or 6 years now. So we've been training a lot of time. I know him very well, so I'm still there at the moment. And obviously my international team is Switzerland, so they both get on very well with the coaches. So yeah, still training there at the moment on the road to Paris.
Yeah. And so how's the training? Right, because obviously you're here in England, but do you go to Switzerland every now and then to do training with them, or is it based here, or do they come out here? Do you go there?
Yeah, so luckily they're very supportive with all that. They get on contact with my coach sometimes from home to see what I'm up to. But yeah, normally they're happy with me just training here for now. Obviously before a competition, they want me up there in the high altitude training camps, which I was there before Manchester. I spent around 4 weeks there, up there in the mountains, training up in Switzerland with the team. And then we all flew from Switzerland to Manchester, which we'll also be doing for Paris. We'll be up in Switzerland in our training camp before heading down to Paris. So yeah, normally I'm up there for training camps before major competition. But other than that, I'm just training at home, which is very good for me because there'd be a lot of travelling otherwise.
A lot of travelling, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, good. And you were just saying that you just about to break this week. Obviously, it's over time of recording. It's obviously 2 weeks before Christmas. So is it your last year now at uni?
No, so it's actually my first year. So I've got another 3 or 4 years. So yeah, so it will be good because after Paris, then I can focus more on my studies. And all that lot. So yeah, still my first year at uni.
Yeah, but you're still young.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's nuts. And so have you got any more competitions coming up before Paris, or is it just training and?
Yeah, mostly training. I've got one up in Northampton this weekend. It's a level 1 meet, which I'll just be seeing how my racing goes, and see if I can fix anything up in training. Just a bit of race practice throughout the year, up until Paris really, which I'll need. But other than that, mostly training really. Yeah, a lot of hard work.
Yeah. And so leading up to Paris, obviously in Tokyo, you didn't manage to win a medal, did you?
No, not in Tokyo. I ended up top 5. So yeah, hopefully Paris is the one where I can medal. So yeah.
Yeah. Is that your expectation, or is that what? I mean, did the Switzerland team sort of say, we're hoping you could be in the top 3 this time, or what's the expectation?
Yeah, we haven't really spoken about it a lot. Obviously, World Championships, I've finished with the silver medal, so there is expectations that I medal in Paris, but obviously anything can happen in swimming. But yeah, I'm looking for the top 2, even gold. So yeah, just see how my training goes, train as hard as I can, and obviously medal in Paris would be a goal for me for sure.
Did you say gold?
Yeah, I mentioned gold. Yeah, of course. I always have to
Gold.
aim for
It's
the
your goal
top.
for it, yeah.
So yeah.
And then I was going to mention to you actually that I managed to get tickets to Paris, and I've actually looked at your classification, and I've got a ticket to see, hopefully to see you at the qualifying stages. So hopefully, I'll be able to see you swim.
Brilliant. Yeah, hopefully that'll be the day. I know that around the day, I think it's the 1st of September is my 100 breaststroke.
Yes, it's a Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday or something like that. So I'll have my heat in the morning and then the final in the evening.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, if you're there, that'd be great to see you there.
Yeah, but sort of like waving in the back.
Yeah. Try find you in the crowd.
So Paris, you're hoping to get a medal. So for those of people that don't know, how does swimming work? Because obviously you've got the heats. Because I've been looking at the schedule and it's a bit. So you've got different heats for different classifications. So it's heats in the morning and then finals in the evening. Is that just for one classification? Because it's like I see heats, finals, heats, and then finals in the evening. Is that just for one classification? Because it's like I see heats, finals, heats. I don't quite understand it. So how does it work?
So yeah, it's mostly. I think it's for all classifications. I'm pretty sure, depending how many people are in a certain race. But yeah, so normally it's just heats in the morning, and whoever qualifies for, I think it's top 8, then gets into the final, and then races for the medal, of course. So yeah, I think it's heats, top 8. Whoever gets top 8 in the heats then goes into the final. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's with all the classification. Yeah, pretty sure that's all of them. Yeah. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
So you could potentially be having a whole day of swimming and then that's it.
Yeah. So yeah, 400 breaststroke. Yeah. So hopefully I'll qualify for the final, and then that'll be in the evening. And then that's it.
So you get one day in Paris and then that's it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, just one chance and that's it. Obviously you've got the heat, which is one chance, but of course it's not the big final in the evening. But yeah, I'm looking to do another race, the 200 IM, a few days before, just to get myself used to the atmosphere and all that. So I can then be ready for the 100 breaststroke, which is my main race. So yeah, that's
a good idea. That's a good idea.
Yeah, yeah, because obviously the big atmosphere and something I'm not used to. So obviously the 200 IM a few days before would be great to get to soak it all up really, and then for the 100 breaststroke I'll be used to everything. So yeah, I'll still be nervous, but at least a little bit more pressure off my shoulders. So yeah, it should be good.
Yeah, because I was always under the impression it would be heats, and then towards the end of it, final. But
yeah.
No, so that'll be terrific. So so what's your degree and at uni at the moment? Sports related, I know, but
yeah, sports related, sports management. So just seeing how that goes really. Probably after a career path of my swimming. Probably going to coaching or something to do with sports, with the management side of it. So yeah, just to give me some few options and see where that takes me really. Yeah.
And is that within power swimming or other sports?
Not sure at the moment. Probably swimming, but also football. I want to get involved with because obviously I like my football as well. But yeah, just to give me some options for after my career. And yeah, just see how it goes really.
And are you hoping with that sort of degree you could be a Crystal Palace manager at some point?
Oh, that would be my dream, of course. That would be crazy if that happened. the way things are going at the moment at Crystal Palace, it wouldn't be a bad shout. But yeah, maybe. Who knows?
I'm pretty sure when this comes out, people will be betting money on you being the Spurs. I did like 1 million to 1 chance.
Yeah. You always have to put a bet on something to see what happens with it. So yeah, anything can happen.
Anything. Yeah, people betted on Michael Jackson being alive and then Leicester City winning the league. So you never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you've got future plans for you. So yeah, good luck in Paris. Hope to see you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you very much for that. I hope to see you there too. Yeah. That'd be great.
Yeah, was there anything else we wanted to add? Or...
That's perfect. Yeah, we've covered everything. I'm really happy with that interview. Very good questions. Yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you for that's the whole point of being a journalist, because questions and research.
Yeah, exactly. Very good research. Yeah.
I've been scorching the dark side of the internet with your Instagram and your everything else.
Yeah.
I've always said to all the other people, I'm not stalking you, I promise.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. It's very good for your questions. So yeah.
So that was Liam McGregor. It's been absolutely incredible to make those episodes and to make the podcast happen a reality. I had this idea of a podcast last year when I was still at university, and the idea came around in about October 2022. When I came on to Voice FM in early January this year, 2023, I had the idea of starting up a podcast. It actually didn't start off as a podcast at first. It started off with about 3 or 4 interviews with power athletes, and it's just gone on from strength to strength. And I've used all my contacts. Most of the podcasts you've had over the last 50 episodes were my own, and only a select few were from social media and other athletes in the past that have given me other athletes' contacts. So it's an absolutely incredible effort, and for me to make those episodes happen, to get the contact of the people, to get them to do a podcast, for them to get into the studio at Southern University with the red background, or to be able to come on online, on Teams or Zoom to make it happen. And it's an amazing effort to them to come on and give up their time, their most valuable time, to come on and do these episodes. So it's an absolute thank you to them, and it's been an insightful for me, not just as a journalist, but also to see how other sports, apart from my own boccia, to see how other sports benefit from having those athletes in, and to sort of see and experience how other sports do their sports. Because boccia is a lot different from a load of other sports, and their system and their structure is a lot different to other sports as well. So it's been incredible to learn from them and to learn more as a journalist going forward. My hope is obviously still to be a Paralympic sport journalist and to host any sort of coverage on Channel 4. That's the dream. And this podcast is just a step further towards that dream. So thank you to everyone that appeared on the podcast. Thank you to all of you at home for watching. And of course,
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all the viewers watching.
Merry Christmas and have a happy New Year.
Santa came down the chimney, 3:30, y'all, and he left all them good presents for my baby. I said, Merry Christmas, baby, sure you treat me